Hey everybody, and welcome back to This Week in Magic Online Finance. My name is Chaz Andres. I'm back live with you this week, which means we get to talk about the news. And the biggest news of the week is Battlebond is here. So grab a friend and play some two-headed giant with, wait, it's not coming to MTGO, is it? Not ever. Oh. Okay. Now, Wizards of the Coast has said that they will be putting select Battlebond staples into treasure chests. So if any of those cards become legacy or vintage staples, like maybe Arena Rector or my favorite Spellseeker, they will be on MTGO. And we'll talk about those in a future week once we get a sense of what the treasure chest drop rates are going to look like. But for now, we actually have a more pressing financial Battlebond topic to discuss, which is what's going to happen to the set's major reprints. See, Wizards of the Coast uses sets like Battlebond as a release valve for cards that were in bad need of a reprint. Take a casual staple like Doubling Season. It was getting really expensive, so WotC throws it in Battlebond, and the price goes down, and the community doesn't clamor for a reprint again until, well, probably next year, but you get the point. So this becomes a problem when a set isn't released on MTGO, because it means that there's going to be a lot more paper copies than digital copies. And this is a big problem for cards like True Name Nemesis. Now, True Name Nemesis was in bad need of a reprint, and it got one, but it got one in paper only. And this is a card that's been as high as 95 tickets in MTGO. So that is going to be a problem. They're not going to throw this in another set anytime soon because, well, it was just in Battlebond. And what that means is that treasure chests are the only way that True Name Nemesis is going to be distributed on MTGO for the foreseeable future. Now, granted, there's a chance that Wizards of the Coast is going to up the treasure chest drop rate on True Name Nemesis by like 50 times, make it super common, this won't be an issue, but I really don't see that happening. And we are expecting the True Name Nemesis drop rate to go up. That's clear by the fact that the price is dropping on MTGO, even though Battlebond won't be on MTGO. But at some point, regardless of whatever the treasure chest rate does, it is going to become a strong buy, as are all of the Battlebond reprints, because these cards are probably not going to be in the next Master set or even the one after that. So if you're looking for a strong long-term pickup, a card that's really low risk, wait until these bottom out and then buy in. I'll try and keep you on top of that one going forward. Let's move on to gaining ground. Where in Standard, our biggest gainer of the week was Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, gaining 5 tickets from 27 up to 32. And the reason for that is fairly straightforward. It's the fact that Blue-White Control is the second best deck in Standard at the moment, and it's actually not that expensive to play for a control deck. You don't need any cards for it, thank goodness. You do need History of Benalia in the sideboard, you probably need some Search for Azcantas, but other than that, Teferi is the key card, which is why it's the most expensive card. Where's it going to go from here? That I can't tell you, because there's a Pro Tour coming next weekend, and the Pro Tour is going to dictate the price of all these Standard staples going forward, so stay tuned. Now, moving on to Modern, the card that gained the most ground this week, Collective Brutality, gaining 6 tickets from 19 up to a much more robust 25. And look, you all bought these when I told you to a couple of weeks ago, right? Good, because this card was an obvious gainer. First of all, the number one reason why it dropped in price was not that it was bad, it was just that people sold their copies to buy into Standard when Dominaria came out. So some matter of rebound was always going to happen. And number two, people are playing this card now because the Modern metagame is becoming more favorable to it. People are doing what they can to beat humans, which means playing more spells, and heck, even Grixis Death Shadow is starting to see some play again. So this is a card that is back on the rise, and I would be shocked if it doesn't end up back above 30 again soon. Let's move on to our biggest loser, where in Standard it was Chandra, Torch of Defiance, dropping 3 tickets from 22 down to 19. So Chandra is finally toast? Well, not really. Chandra actually sees play in 2 of Standard's 3 best decks. It sees play in the main deck of Mono-Red Aggro, as well as the main deck of Black-Red Vehicles. So why is it dropping? Well, mostly it's because it had spiked from the 20-22 ticket range all the way up to about the 30 ticket mark a few weeks ago, so this is just sort of getting it back to its status quo, and I don't think it's going to keep dropping. But look, just like with Teferi, what really matters is what happens next week at the Pro Tour. Chandra could become one of the key cards in the metagame again, or it could disappear entirely. We just don't know. It's too hard to say. And if I had to guess, I would say that Chandra is more likely than not to end up showing up in a couple of top decks and making a bit of a rebound, but just remember this card is still rotating in the fall, so its upside is pretty seriously capped. Even if Chandra ends up doing good things, there are just better speculation targets, cards that will be legal longer. Let's move on to Modern, where our biggest loser is a very powerful land, Cavern of Souls. It dropped 4 tickets from 30 down to 26, and this is mostly a result of people metagaming against humans. People are doing what they can to beat this deck. They're stacking their sideboards against it, which has resulted in humans not doing so well in tournaments recently, and some of its major staples taking a bit of a tumble in price. But this is probably not going to continue forever. The deck is not going to leave Modern's top tier, or if it does, it'll be temporary, because once people stop sideboarding against it, it's gonna come roaring back. It's not a dead strategy, so at some point, Cavern of Souls will begin to rebound. In fact, even right now, it looks like the price isn't going to be dropping any farther anytime soon. So definitely monitor this one, but Cavern of Souls is a hold for me right now. Now, this week's sneak is not a single card, it's an entire set. Masters 25. And yeah, I know Masters 25 was a disappointment to nearly everybody, and it was worse on MTGO, where the packs were somehow more expensive and the EV was somehow worse. But look, I'm not telling you to buy packs, I'm telling you to go and look at the singles. There are some really good Modern cards in there, cards like Ensnaring Bridge and Chalice of the Void. They've reached bottom, they're starting to rebound just a little, so now's the time to go fire up that spoiler, grab a shopping list, and pick up whatever Masters 25 cards you think you're going to need. Let's end the week, as always, by taking a look at the MTGO Traders sales data over the past 7 days. And this gives us a great idea of which cards are actually selling the best, regardless of what the hype cycle is telling us. Now, in terms of overall sales figures, we have a couple of weird additions to the top 5. First of all, Shadowborn Apostle, the common from M14, is the #2 most sold card of the week by volume. That's really weird, right? It's a casual card. I've not seen any rumblings about a competitive deck. I may have missed it, but I think it's just an issue of the fact that this card is $2 in paper, it's 4 cents on MTGO, so someone's trying to force the issue. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's worth monitoring, and if I'm missing some crazy breakout deck, let me know in the comments, but otherwise, I'm just gonna, I don't know, I guess buy a few and see what happens. The other slightly unusual thing is that we've got a rare Dominaria land actually inside our top 5. Woodland Cemetery, the 5th most sold card by volume this week, and look, I guess as a society, we've just decided that these lands are not going to be worth more than a ticket, and that's okay, but based on the volume I'm seeing for sales and the price, something is not adding up here. If these ever start going up, watch out, and I still kind of want to own a whole bunch of each of them. Now, in terms of overall value sold, it's standard, all standard. It's Karn and Teferi and Walking Ballista and Heart of Kiran and History of Benalia, all slam dunk staples. The only slightly unusual thing is there aren't any Modern cards in that top 5. And look, the Pro Tour is next week. People are excited about this standard format, so let's ride that train for just a little bit longer, and we'll regroup next week after the PT. That's all I got for you this week. I'm Chaz Andres. Thank you so much for joining me on This Week in Magic Online Finance. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next Monday morning.